figured out something that nobody's talking about. And before we get into the video, I would just say to start with, there's so much negativity out there, and especially online, there's so many people that make money from the doom and gloom, from telling you how everything's going to hell, how no one's going to make money from AI. But I'll tell you this, and then I'll get into the nuts and bolts of some of the money making out there right now. And I can tell you this because there's a lot of people making a lot of money still, but people are talking about AI is destroying jobs, destroying careers, going to take all the take money out of the economy. Like, you're not going to be able to make money, right? Now let's just address this, okay? Maybe in 5 years, you don't know, I don't know. But let's just assume maybe it happens in 5 years. Hell, maybe it happens in 1 year. But I can tell you this, as of right now, today, this week, this month, you can still make money. You can still make money. And not only can you still make money, but a lot of people are making a lot of money. So I can tell you this. Instead of running around and believing this doom and gloom and watching these videos and reading these articles and listening to your friends about why you can't make money, no one's making money, a lot of people are making money. I read income stats all the time. It's just something I've always been interested in. And the number of people that make over $100,000 in this country, in the U.S. alone, is and now it's slipping my mind because I just read the number recently, but it's a significant number. And so when people say, "Oh, no one's making money," people are making money. They're making a lot of money. I can tell you, I was just talking to an employee of mine the other day, and when I first got started with my business, I was making cold calls, selling people, and when I was just kind of building my business up, it was right in the beginning of the housing crash in 2009. So here I was. I had a like an 8-month-old baby with my then girlfriend, my now wife. But at the time we had an 8-month-old baby. I had no money, and I'm trying to start my business, and then the housing crash happened. So people who were buying my computer stuff all of a sudden weren't buying, right? And I'll never forget that all these businesses that I was doing business with suddenly went out of business. And the people who were still in business, they were buying like, I was going to say half of what they were buying, like a quarter of what they were buying. And then another small percentage of people were just like, hey, I'm not buying anything. I'm still in business, but I'm just holding off on making purchases. So it was a really tough time. But anyways, get to my point. When I would talk to someone on the phone, if they said, hey, my business is down, I'm not making any money, that was fine. It was fair. I'm like, okay, no problem. But every so often I'd come across someone, I'd talk to them on the phone, they go, yeah, nobody's making money, blah, 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 blah. And I know this sounds rude, this sounds bad, but I would hang up on those people. I would say, hey, no, people are making money, because I didn't want someone pissing on my ambition, because I had to work. Like, I had to work and I had to make money. I didn't have a choice. Like, I couldn't just sit back and I didn't have like a pile of cash I was sitting on. I could just sit back and go, yeah, no one's making money. It's okay if I can wait out the 6 months or 8 months or whatever it is. I had to get out there and make money. So I couldn't have someone pissing on my my livelihood. So if someone was saying, oh, no one's making money, no. Hey, if you want to believe that, you can believe that, but don't put that on me. So I would cut that off right away. I would either hang up on it and cut them off, or I'd say, hey, I just got off the phone with someone who's making money still. And I can tell you that's the same thing going on right now, where there's people are running around going, hey, no one's making money now, AI's taking over everything. But as of right now, this month, this week, today, there's a lot of money being made. Because here's the thing, like, even for example with I don't know what kind of job you're in or what kind of business you're in, what you do for a living, or how you make your money, but I can tell you this, like in my business, in a lot of businesses, you can still pick up the phone and make money. You can still pick up the phone, make a call, make a cold call, and make money. You can still make money. Now, is our phone sales probably going out the window? Are they probably, the next 5 or 10 years, are they gonna go in the direction of how door-to-door sales went? Yeah, of course, of course. And back in the day, I was never involved in it, but even when I was first coming up, people were still doing door-to-door sales. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. I mean, it was 20 years ago where people were doing door-to-door sales and make money. That's kind of when it was going out. Now, do people still sell door to door? Yeah, it's still around. I mean, like for example, you get, in my neighborhood, we get the landscaping people and like the pest control people when they're doing like a neighbor's job. They'll come to all the house in the neighborhood and they'll knock on doors and they'll do their pitch, and that's cool. But as a whole, it's gone. And phone sales is going that way too. But as of right now, you can still make money on the phone. Pick up the phone, make a call. If you're in your business, and this thing too, maybe you're in a job or you're in a business where maybe you're doing face-to-face sales. The thing is, it's still, as of right now, it's still a numbers game. Just get in front of more people, talk to more people, because it's still out there. The money's out there. I was reading something about just was it yesterday, today? It might have been yesterday. I came across an article, and you might have saw it, but it was about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And it talked about how they took, well, actually, I'm not going to talk about the gossip of it, because I didn't care about the gossip of it, but it was like, they bought like I want to say it was like a $200 million house a few years ago. And I think they paid cash for it at the time. And then they ended up taking a loan on it. And then they ended up taking another loan just recently on it. And, people are up in arms on why they took it. Regardless, it doesn't even matter why they took the loan. But here's the part that just made me like, oh, wow. Their mortgage on their two loans was like, I think it was like 400 grand or 500 grand. Plus the taxes were, and talk about a month. And the taxes, I think, were like 100 grand a month. And then that didn't even talk about the insurance. So all in all, it was like $600,000 a month that they're paying on this house. That's just the mortgage, the insurance, and the mortgage, the taxes, and maybe the insurance. And that's not counting lights, nothing else, right? So like 600 grand a month on their mortgage payment. While we complain about paying $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Now that's the thing. What? I'm doing a video. What's up?
I have a quick question.
I'm doing a video. I've got a bunch of kids, so someone's is coming on my videos, whatever. Anyways, so while we're complaining about, that there's not enough money out there, that you can't make money, they're paying $600,000 a month on their mortgage. Now you say, well, that's Jay-Z, that's Beyonce, that's one person, or two people, like one couple. Understand, before you shoot yourself in the foot, before you say, oh, I can't do, you can't do. No. It's out there. They're not the only people doing it. They're not the only people living out in LA. Now that's out in LA, right? But they're not the only people living in LA in a multi-million dollar house. And do keep in mind this too. Is that not every big mansion is paid off. Now, are there some? Sure, I bet you there are. But I would say probably a high number are absolutely not paid off. And again, I've seen statistics on number of houses paid off in the U.S. And gosh, I'm trying to think of, again, these are numbers off the top of my head. I can't remember exactly. I think it was like somewhere between 20 and 30% of houses in the U.S. are paid off. I think that's what it is. I think that was the number. So I remember it was actually a number that I was actually kind of surprised. I was surprised it was even that high. But I think that's the number, and maybe it's wrong. So I mean, don't take that exactly, but it was somewhere around there. But I would guess, and it didn't break down as far as the value of the house. It was just like a general stat, like overall, all houses. But I would say probably the bigger houses, like the mansions, the multi-million-dollar houses, are probably the houses that are not paid off. That would be my guess. I would guess that there's mortgages on most of these homes, because a lot of people living in those kind of homes are people who are making, a really good income, and then they just keep moving up. And so before you get in this, before you get in this thing and say, oh, you can't make money now. There's no money out there. The money's only, only a few people get the money. Now, is it true that, especially in today's economy, the more and more money is going to the top and to a very few people? Yeah, the wealth is definitely pooling in higher levels. The Jeff Bezoses, the Google guys, the Mark Zuckerberg and Larry Ellison and Warren Buffett, those guys, right? The billionaires, they're getting richer and richer and richer, and Elon, all these guys. But the thing is, there's still so much money out there, and that's what you have to get your head around, is that it's still, you can make what you want to make. Now, is it going to be easy? People say, well, it's not like it was before. You can't just get a job and work. Yeah, you know what? You can't. You can't. It's different now. It's different every generation. It's harder. I think it's harder now, but in a lot of ways, it's easier now. It's easier now because you go back to like the 80s, right? I mean, I was born in 80, but if you go back to the 80s, yeah, you can get a job and you can excel at a company, but to start your own company in the 80s, even in the early 90s, you had to have cash, and you had to get an office, and you had to get expensive phone lines, and there was so much money. It wasn't so easy to start a business. Now you can start a business. You already got your cell phone, you got your internet connection. It's easy to start a business. It's easy. I mean, it almost costs next to it costs almost next to nothing to start. And that's the thing, because still, I'm a believer in, as of right now, wealth and money still flows to those who will hustle, who will work hard, who will go after it. Me and my friend joke about, because the guy he worked with years ago used to say, you can't. He used to tell my friend works a job, and he does really well, and he makes average income, but he's done really well over the years of saving and investing. He does really well. But the guy working with my friend used to say, oh, you don't let, wait, what did he say? He used to say, don't chase the money, let the money chase you. We used to laugh because it's like, that guy, I'm sure, was poor, right? And I'm not dogging him. I don't care. I mean, everyone's has their own business, but I'm saying, like, he's shelling out advice and he's not making any money. And because the reality is, if you want to make big money, you gotta hustle. You gotta work hard. You gotta bust your ass every day. And I think that's what's happening right now. I think that's what's happening right now. And before, and if you're on the video going, hey, you know what? You made your money and now it's changed. I'm just coming up, blah blah blah. Hey, you know what? I'm 45 years old. I've got 4 kids. I've got a house. I've got a couple cars. I've got an expensive lifestyle, right? And I'm still on the front lines of capitalism, guys. I'm still working. So I can't sit back and coast. So when you say, oh, you did this or you did this, no, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. So when I'm saying I'm out here, it means I'm out here working just as you are too. Okay? Maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you're at the same point I am. Maybe you're kind of wrapping up. It doesn't matter. If you're in the economy working, we're on the same front lines, guys. I'm on the front lines here, and I'm doing this. Okay, so let me just clear that up. But what I would say too is that there's always, I've always noticed that there's always doom and gloom. There's always people. When I was coming up, people would say, it was the Y2K stuff. That's gonna knock everything out. When the internet was coming up, oh, everything's gonna knock out, the dot-com. I mean, there's always a boogeyman, right? There's always a boogeyman. Right now it's AI. And is AI going to change things? Yeah, of course it will. It's already changing things. Is it gonna wipe out jobs? Yeah, it probably will. Is it gonna create new jobs? Hopefully. But here's the thing. Again, as of right now, it's you can still make money. And what I was getting at is, I think the divide that's happening right now, like the not divide, the where I think I just kind of lost my I got my train of thought, but I lost the word I'm trying to look for. I think the problem that's happening right now is people are expecting things to be easy, or they want things, they're looking at things the way they used to be, and they're saying they're not like that anymore. Now it should be, and now it's different. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. Things are always changing, but it doesn't matter. We work with the way, what's going on. We work with what we have, and we move forward. But again, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It never has. It never will be. It never will be easy. I remember when email and internet kind of blew up, and everyone started doing business on their mobile phones and mobile phones. God, it just sounds stupid. Cell phones. People thought, oh, we're gonna have all this time. We're gonna have so much time to free up, and all it did is it connected us to our business or our jobs 24/7, because now we're checking our email, we're checking our phones all the time. I'm always checking my email. But the upside is, like, you're always in contact, right? So if there's a problem with a customer or an order or a delivery, you can be on top of it right away, as opposed to waiting overnight or waiting over a weekend. But it was never easy, and it's never gonna be easy, and it's not gonna be easy. And especially now, things are very competitive. The world is very competitive, and especially at least here in the U.S., things have opened up. Like maybe in the 70s and 80s, everything was right here, but now we're competing with the world now. But that's good. That's good. That's what we want, and that's helped a lot of things. Does it make things hard? Absolutely. But keep in mind that nothing's going to be easy. So get that out of your mind, that anything's supposed to be easy or going to be easy, because it's just not going to be. It's going to be hard. But here's the thing. We're going to wrap up at this. For me, the harder I work and the more I push and go for stuff, the more fulfilling the highs are, the successes are, and it makes it more fun. It makes it more it's a rush when you have these successes. But and also too, for those who've been watching my videos, you can see my office is different. I'm in the midst of updating, so it's still not up. I don't have my moldings up. I gotta put my new door handle on. I've got like a new TV in here, so you see. I don't know if you can see I don't know how much you can see in the background and stuff. I got my bookshelves, most of my bookshelves back up, or some of my bookshelves back up. But I'll be adding more to my office, getting more organized. But yeah, I've been kind of doing that here and there. But all right, we'll wrap it at that. And if you enjoy the videos, if you're not subscribed yet, definitely please subscribe. Check out my other videos. Okay, thanks.